everybody, Cinema Sickness here again to talk to you about what I bought and what I watched today. And today, head out to Goodwill where I got myself some interesting titles that all kind of have a similar theme to them. Keep in mind, I paid only 10 cents a piece for these, so don't think it's too crazy that I got these, even though they are very odd kind of titles. But regardless, for 10 cents a piece, figured I'd grab them. The first VHS I picked up was Wonders of Nature, which is a Reader's Digest documentary, and as I've said many times before, Reader's Digest documentaries are actually usually pretty damn good. I'd say right up there with National Geographic. They're usually very well done. Everyone I've seen thus far, I've really enjoyed watching, so for 10 cents, I had to pick it up. Then I picked up Great Splendors of the World Ancient Splendors and Great Splendors of the World Imperial Splendors. Once again, both Reader's Digest documentaries, so I have no doubt both of these will be great, and again, they were only 10 cents. And the last two VHS titles I picked up were Hawaiian Paradise Sought and Hawaiian Paradise Found. Now, both of these are Questar videos, and just recently I started to get into Questar videos and their documentaries. For the longest time, I always passed up on them because I just kind of always assumed they were going to be a subpar company. They weren't going to be up there with Reader's Digest or National Geographic, but since I've started to get into them, I've realized I've made a mistake. Thus far, all the Questar documentaries I've seen have been pretty good. Although, in all fairness, I'm pretty sure most of the Questar documentaries that I have seen aren't actual Questar documentaries. They're documentaries put out by other people and then put under the name of Questar. So that's probably why they're actually pretty decent. But thus far, all the tapes I've seen, I've enjoyed. So, again, for 10 cents, definitely had to pick these two up. So that's it for what I bought today, so now into what I watched. And since today was Valentine's Day and I really didn't feel like watching a slasher film, I decided to check out a romantic comedy. And tonight I watched Just Go With It. Probably should have stuck with the slasher idea. This movie, I'm gonna say mediocre, though that's probably giving it a bit too much praise. But I guess I'll just stick with mediocre to describe this film. My main problem with it was, and it's just your very typical romantic comedy. There's Adam Sandler, Brooklyn Decker. Adam Sandler's trying to get with her, but he keeps lying. He's basically just building up lie after lie after lie after lie. Uses Jennifer Aniston as his fake wife, who they're getting a divorce, and her kids get involved in this whole big spiel, and this big mess of just this huge web of lies. And of course, in the end, Adam Sandler falls in love with Jennifer Aniston and they get together. You see it coming from the very beginning. As soon as the movie starts, you know how it's going to end. It is very, very, very typical. Except for one major problem, and that's the fact that it's ridiculously unbelievable. Now, with that being said, I have plenty of movies in my collection that I, could roll my eyes at and say, wow, that's a pretty unbelievable story, but you at least get into it, and you find it fun, and you don't spend the whole time thinking about, oh, that would never happen. It's very rare that I come across a movie where I'm thinking that the entire time. That is exactly what I did with this movie. This movie is so ridiculous, so over the top, so just beyond belief that I couldn't get into it, and that is saying a lot for me. I've seen a million romantic comedies where the plot is just ridiculous and would never happen, but again, I don't spend the whole time thinking that. I may know it in the back of my head, but I'm still enjoying the movie, I'm getting into it, and I'm putting the fact that it could never happen, I'm putting that, out of my head and just thinking about what I'm watching and enjoying it. I just could not do this with this movie. Every lie Adam Sandler came up with was just so ridiculous. The fact that Brooklyn Decker went along with all this stuff throughout the entire film, I mean, her wanting to meet his soon-to-be ex-wife, I can get that, but then she goes off with them to Hawaii, and it's just so ridiculous. I could not put it out of my head the entire time. I just kept thinking, this would never in a million years happen. It would never work this way. It couldn't even possibly work this way. Just wouldn't happen. And I feel really weird saying that only because, so many movies in my collection, that is exactly the case. Lots of things that would never happen, but like I said, usually I can put that past me, and I'm not the type of person to say, oh, that wouldn't happen. I'm not that type of person, but for this movie, I just had to be. I couldn't get past it. In all fairness, though, it did have some good jokes. I did laugh quite a bit throughout this movie, so I'll give it that. It was at least mediocre legitimately funny. You know, there were some good jokes in it. I mean, I wasn't dying on the floor in laughter, but it had me laughing here and there, so fair enough, it was at least somewhat amusing. But I couldn't get past the story. I wasn't really all that into it. It just seemed really ridiculous, really over the top, and of course, extremely stereotypical. It is a very, very stereotypical romantic comedy. So would I recommend the film? Not really. Although, in all fairness, it is one of Happy Madison's better movies of late. Yeah, just Happy Madison movies have been pretty piss poor lately. At least this one was better than most of the ones I've seen in the past few years. I'll give it that at least. Maybe things are going to get better for Happy Madison. Maybe they'll actually start making better movies. Maybe this is this movie was a step up. Maybe they'll just keep going up and up. Although, I don't know. What was that movie? Oh, God, the one with Adam Sandler playing himself as like a woman. Oh, Jesus Christ. There you go. That movie alone probably says that's not going to happen. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself now. I really can't recommend it. It wasn't all that good. I would say if you're some huge die-hard romantic comedy fan, maybe you'll like it then. I mean, if you're a big Jennifer Aniston or Adam Sandler fan, I guess I could see you liking it. Because, again, I'll say mediocre. It wasn't horrible. If you really want to see it, fine. Give it a rent. Go out to Redbox or Netflix or something like that. Give it a rent. Pay $1 for it. Check it out. See what you think. It's certainly not the worst movie I've ever seen. I would never say that. It's just mediocre, and I just wasn't the biggest fan. Although, like I said, I didn't absolutely hate it. I just wasn't all that into it. So I'm not going to recommend it, but if you really want to see it, yeah, I'd say, yeah, at least give it a rent. So that's it for what I bought when I watched today. And normally I'd probably say something about, oh, I'm definitely excited for the titles I picked up today from Goodwill, but I don't know if I'd say I'm excited for the titles I picked up today, because I got, just some weird stuff, just some kind of strange documentaries. But as I said, Reader's Digest documentaries are actually pretty well done. They're very enjoyable. If you like things like National Geographic, I'd recommend checking out Reader's Digest documentaries. You'll probably enjoy them. As far as those two Questar documentaries go, like I've said, the Questar documentaries that I've seen thus far, I've really enjoyed. So hopefully these two will be good as well. Hopefully they'll keep their track record going, and they'll be just as good as the ones I've already watched. And checking out Just Go With It, at the most, I'll just say a mediocre romantic comedy. Certainly not the best I've ever seen, and for a movie to actually make me think, wow, that's really unbelievable, that's saying a lot. I mean, I have a really hard time telling you guys that, because I'm not that type of person. I'm not the type of person who goes, oh, I can't believe what's happening in this movie. It's a movie. I know it's make-believe. I know it's not supposed to be believable. I know it's supposed to be, a lot of times ridiculous and these crazy plots that aren't ever going to happen in a million years. But just this one, for whatever reason, it just seems so out there that I could not wrap my head around it and get into the movie and just forget about the wackiness that was going on. I kept thinking about how this would never be happening. But, like I said, at least it had some funny moments. I did laugh here and there. It's not like it was void of all comedy. No, it was funny at times. And, even though I wouldn't really recommend it 100%, I would say if you are interested in seeing it, sure, give it a rent. You might actually enjoy it. If you're, a big romantic comedy fan, if you like Jennifer Aniston, if you like Adam Sandler, sure, I guess it's worth a see. It was mediocre. Not great, but not absolutely horrible. Just mediocre. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to see what I bought when I watch tomorrow. See ya.